I'm Ronnie, and you're listening to Clean With Me, the podcast where I walk you through cleaning your house step by step. When you clean along with this show, you'll get more done in less time so you can spend the rest of your day doing what matters most to you. Thanks for joining me. The title of today's episode is How to Fake a Clean House in 15 Minutes. But of course, you're going to be doing some real cleaning. This just isn't a deep clean, and we're going to concentrate on some key tasks in some key areas so that no one will notice that you're behind on housework. This cleaning session would be ideal when you're expecting short notice guests, or maybe your spouse is on their way home. Or maybe you just don't have a lot of time or energy today and you want to get your house looking good for your own mental health. Let's get right into it. If you have kids and they're at home right now, you're going to either need to get them working or get them occupied. But whether you're delegating some of it or you're working alone, the first couple things you need to do are clearing countertops and picking up floors. Okay, your kitchen countertops are often the most cluttered parts of your home, and of course your floors can get overrun with pet toys, shoes that have been left out, stacks of paper, homework, empty Amazon boxes. Okay, and now isn't the time to sort through everything or decide whether you're getting rid of a particular box or whatever. Unless something's obvious trash, you're going to want to just toss it into an empty laundry basket or maybe a bin like a Sterilite or Rubbermaid container. And that way you can place it in the closet once you've picked up. You can deal with figuring out what's clutter and where things go after your guests leave, or if it's your spouse that's coming home in your next cleaning session when he goes back to work tomorrow. And getting them occupied doesn't necessarily mean putting them in front of the TV, of course. You can always get out a special toy or activity that's not messy per se, but something that they don't usually play with. Novelty is key here. I remember when I used to sometimes hold a toddler on my lap in church, and I would keep certain quiet toys in the bag, but the key was that they didn't have access to those same toys at home. So when I pulled out a wand that had water in it and little glitter and little miniatures in it, and they would kind of flip that up and down and watch those items drift, it was exciting because they only got to see that once a week. And of course, if you have kids who are old enough to actually help you get your house clean fast, delegate those things that they're good at, those things that you know that they'll do quickly. Typically, I will have my kids pick up the outer areas, dust, vacuum, while I do dishes because I know I'm going to do dishes faster than they are. And if I send more than one kid into the kitchen to do dishes, they're going to fight over who does what. But I also realize that you might be cleaning alone right now. Maybe you're cleaning during your kid's nap, or you don't have young children, or your older kids aren't home right now if you have older kids. Especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, you probably get into situations where you spend your time doing something other than cleaning. Things come up or you get sidetracked, and then all of a sudden you don't have much time left. And just be picking up your floors and clearing off your countertops. And as far as dishes, you can place them in the sink for now, because we'll talk about those in a minute. Right now we're trying to get the house presentable. So, gather up dishes from around the house, place them in the sink, clear off your countertops as far as putting things away where they go, and then just picking up floors throughout your house, starting at the front entrance and putting random items that don't belong in that room just into your laundry basket or the bin that you're using. Okay, you're just clearing your floors and upper surfaces like countertops and, to a lesser extent, couches, end tables, and coffee tables that might have a few stray items on them. I was looking at the comments on a post about marriage advice, and some of the advice I disagreed with, some of it I agreed with, but one thing I really liked was where a person said you need to download Life 360 so that you'll know, and I thought they were saying so you can make sure your husband isn't cheating or something like that, but it was so that you'll know when he's on his way home and you can do some last minute cleaning. Yes. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to keep buzzing around and picking up. If you started in your front entrance and living room and your kitchen as far as counters, you might want to continue down the hallway and start picking up your bedroom. But as you're rushing around clearing clutter, you might want to close a few doors, okay? If your kids' rooms are out of control, or you didn't bother making a bed in a guest room or kids' room, simply shut the door. And of course, I have my kids clean their rooms, but when we are expecting company and I have them all working, I rally the troops, so to speak, I'm usually not telling them to clean their room unless the guest has a kid their age that's going to go into their room. But when I'm cleaning for my husband, I focus on the living room and hallway, the kitchen, and then my bedroom and my bathroom, which is the bathroom that he uses. And we'll talk about the bathroom a little more in a minute. Now that you've removed the surface clutter, you've cleared off your kitchen countertops, you've isolated the dishes to the sink, you've picked up clutter from your living room floor and hopefully throughout most of your house, the next thing you're going to do is clean what they'll see. Meaning, if you're having a visitor over, their visit's going to take place predominantly in one room of the house, like your living room or family room. Or if your spouse is getting home, do they sit in the living room or family room, or do they head to the bedroom, take a shower in the master bathroom, and then lie down on the bed to watch TV or whatever? You know which room that person is going to be spending time in, and that's the room you're going to want to focus on as far as a little bit of deeper cleaning or actual cleaning. Because let's face it, picking up is tidying. We call it cleaning, but it's tidying, and then the next step is cleaning. So whether your area of focus is going to be a living area or your bedroom, now's the time to complete some important finishing touches in that room. Okay, if you're entertaining guests and it's a living area, make sure that you have straightened up your couch cushions and fluffed those throw pillows. You're going to want to dust your coffee table and end tables and any other surfaces. For us, it's dusting the piano and under the piano because it's on a tile floor and it's kind of raised and the area underneath gets dusty. You've got your little idiosyncrasies in your house too, but you're going to do the necessary dusting. You're going to look up, check for any cobwebs, knock those down with either a duster on a pole or a broom. You'd be surprised how quickly you can dust some tables, whether it's your bedroom nightstands or the end table and coffee table in your living room and whatever other pieces of furniture. I mean, it takes literally seconds to do that dusting and even clean that grimy windowsill. But whenever you get done with this quick dusting that you need to do, you're going to want to either sweep and mop or vacuum, okay? And if you do mop, of course, you're going to dry your floor, because if you're like me, you don't want it to look like you just cleaned. Especially if it's a day where my house is kind of out of control and I have to work really hard just to get it mediocre looking, just to get it tolerable or just barely presentable. I don't want to look like I had to work for that. I'd rather they just assume that I didn't really do anything to prepare. And you're probably dusting and vacuuming or sweeping right now, but there might be some key tasks that you can do to prepare for your visitor or spouse. For example, someone who just had a baby knows that their guest might head to the kitchen sink to wash up before holding the baby, because of course people are supposed to wash their hands before they hold a brand new baby. And maybe your bathroom's presentable or you're about to get it presentable, but you don't know that they're not going to go to the kitchen sink. So maybe that kitchen sink needs to be wiped down. You need to make sure that there's a nice clean towel next to it and either a hand soap or the dish soap or whatever ready. Or what if a guest is coming over and you know that they're going to place something in the refrigerator, like they're bringing their own drinks or something? You want to touch up your refrigerator shelves. And this episode is called Faking a Clean House, so I am going to have you take some shortcuts. Kind of like when you put some things in the laundry basket or bin to deal with later. That's not the way we usually do things, but that can help you get your house clutter-free in a pinch. The next shortcut you might want to take is getting those dishes out of sight. This could mean filling up your sink with hot soapy water and submerging everything. Okay, that would work for a guest who's not going to stay very long. Or it could mean putting all of your dirty dishes into the drying rack and setting that drying rack in the cupboard under your sink. Basically, you're just hiding your dirty dishes, and then you can rinse out your sink and make it look like you didn't have any dirty dishes at all. And of course, if you had an empty dishwasher, you could stick everything into the dishwasher real quick, maybe without pre-rinsing it, and then just put your dishwasher on the heavy-duty cycle and see what gets clean, and whatever doesn't get clean, you can rewash. And I talked about your key area being your living room or your bedroom. Of course, if it's the bedroom, make the bed. That instantly makes the bedroom look better. And then clear any clutter off of the floor. Throw all the clothes in the hamper. Maybe you're not sure what's clean or dirty and you're going to rewash a few things. Take a lesson from your kid here and just put everything in the hamper to get that floor picked up, because this is kind of an emergency. This is faking a clean home. This is not the time to sort through everything. Stick it in the hamper, put the shoes in the closet, throw away any trash, and before you know it, your bedroom's going to be picked up. Let's touch up the bathroom. If you're expecting guests, it's going to be the guest bathroom. If your husband always uses a different bathroom, it's going to be the bathroom he uses. But let's pick up any dirty clothes or towels off the bathroom floor. Let's clear the countertop and, get the makeup put in the drawers or whatever else is out. Let's remove that clutter. Let's take out the bathroom trash so it's not overflowing. And then let's give the bathroom a quick touch up. You can do a lot with just a glass and surface cleaner and some paper towels. You can wipe down the mirror. You can wipe down the faucet. You can quickly scrub the sink basin. Give the toilet bowl a swish if it's discolored. Okay, clean the toilet seat and wipe the back of the toilet tank if it's dusty. Okay, you can do this quickly with a paper towel and a spray or some disinfecting wipes. But a lot of times I use paper towels and a spray because I'm also cleaning the mirror. And let's face it, using a separate spray and paper towels is cheaper than the disinfecting wipes, and I don't always have them on hand. I mean, when I'm deep cleaning a bathroom, I use all different products. I use something to whiten the sink, and I use a disinfecting wipes on the toilet, and I use a toilet bowl cleaner inside the toilet bowl. But in a pinch, when I'm just faking a clean house, I will just take some Windex and paper towels to every surface of the bathroom and then just give the toilet bowl a swish with the toilet bowl cleaner. And I usually keep some toilet bowl cleaner in the little holder for my toilet bowl brush. So the brush is like soaking in that liquid. So if I grab it and scrub out my toilet bowl, it's got the cleaner already on the brush. And I even clean my bathroom tile sometimes with Windex and a dirty towel or something that I found in the bathroom floor. I'm talking about for my small guest bathroom. In the master bathroom, if you listen to the show regularly, you know that I do a full sweep and mop, but I often clean the kids' bathroom / guest bathroom floor by hand because I can do it super quickly. And I kind of combine the sweeping and mopping into one step, just like when you're wiping crumbs off of the countertop and you're kind of grabbing it up in the damp rag. I do that in the bathroom floor with the debris on the floor. Now, I hope you got your house presentable during this episode. Take some time to freshen yourself up and relax for a few minutes before your spouse or your guests walk in. I appreciate each and every one of you, and as always, happy cleaning. I'll talk to you in the next episode.